Don't say gay. Don't say as the first two words in a sentence spoken by a political leader of a state in the United States of America. Don't say. Don't fucking say, you fucking Nazi pig.
If I'm some world famous celebrity who's gonna get 20,000 likes from my statement, I'm gonna go and make sure that whatever I'm saying is based on something true. I'm gonna spend like the 10 seconds required to go look up this tiny bill and read it for myself before I go out and make some dumb comment. And I don't understand these people who just they don't do anything. They just someone tells them something. They say, "Oh, do you know Ron DeSantis is saying you can't say gay to children in schools?" And he goes, "Oh, gay Nazi, I gotta go tweet about this." And he puts up his phone and he holds it way too close to his face.
Right.
I don't understand this fucking aesthetic. Okay, hold your phone away from you. I don't want to see like every fucking pore on your nose, Ron Perlman.
So there's this "don't say gay" bill that everybody is I just mischaracterized it just talking about it, because it really is not about "don't say gay." And I think you made the claim last time that other people have made that the bill is too broad, that it's not really a good bill, which is fine, but it's not really a bill against saying gay. So
well, what I said was the only critique about the bill that's accurate is that it is too vague in how it's worded, because there is a possible, now obviously this all depends on how a judge interprets the law, if there's ever some lawsuit or something, but the way the law is it's so vague and broad that it would include any sort of talk about any sexual orientation or relationship, but without defining what that means. It's like, okay, if you're in kindergarten and the teacher's reading you a story about a married couple or straight, is that talking about sexual orientation just because there's a married couple in it? I don't know. I would assume that most judges would be reasonable and would interpret the law, with some sort of reasonable standard. However, I still prefer my legislation to be very specific,
right,
as specific as possible. But the difference here is that if the Democrats in Florida and the people who are criticizing this law really gave a fuck, I believe the Democrats could have worked with the Republicans in the legislation in Florida, and they could have hammered out the law to be more specific, to get rid of some of the vagaries of the law. But they didn't do that. And I'm pretty, I don't know this for 100% certainty, but I would guess that the reason they didn't do that is because they don't want to work out the uncertainties. What they want to do is they want to say, look at the Republicans in Florida, look at the Republicans across the country. They're all homophobes. They're all transphobes. They're passing this "don't say gay" bill. Look at how fucking horrible they are. And they want to hit them with that hammer again and again and again. And they don't actually want to pass some reasonable legislation about how, you shouldn't be teaching sex ed to kids, under 7 or 8 years old, which I think most people agree with.
Right. They're fear mongering. They're doing the exact same thing that the Democrats have been accusing the Republicans of doing as long as I've been alive. Fear mongering about war, fear mongering about satanic panics, fear mongering about video games, fear mongering about racy music lyrics, right?
Right.
The Democrats have been beating this drum for as long as I've been alive. So it's crazy to me that they've slid right into this fear mongering tactic by mischaracterizing something that I feel is important. I don't know if you listened to the press conference that Ron DeSantis did with the people, but he had like three parents there that had negative interactions over this extreme gender ideology in public schools. Right. So this bill is actually a response to actual tangible harm that has been done to parents. So to mischaracterize it as something that it's completely not, when it is trying to address a problem, I think is, the height of hypocrisy and just drives me insane.
And the despicable thing here that the media has done is that they completely leave out what you just said. They completely leave out that the reason this bill exists was because a girl did try to commit suicide at school, And it was, at least the family saying, it was because, her counselor and her teachers thought she was trans and were trying to help her transition, and no one told the family this. And so no one in the family knew she was going through this. No one in the family knew that she had any sorts of feelings or problems like this at school. And apparently she was getting bullied, or the family's claiming that she was getting bullied at school for transitioning. And that's why she tried to kill herself at school. Mm-hmm. That's why this bill exists, because a little girl attempted suicide.
Right.
And this is totally left out by the media.
Yes.
And it's really despicable. They don't give a fuck about, when it comes to politics, no one cares about the lives of any of these people. They just want to push whatever the political narrative is. And it's so disgusting right now on how the left is behaving in terms of, they're like, whenever these issues come up, they say, like, it's all projection. They say the right is engaged in this culture war nonsense. All they're doing is culture war. All they're doing is culture war. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? For the last 6 years, the left and the Democrats have been very happy to oblige this, have been pushing all this woke culture war nonsense for 6 years. And finally, the Republicans are pushing back legislatively. And then they say, you're doing the culture war. You're doing the culture war. It's like, what are you talking about? You started the culture war.
Yeah.
All this woke crap is the start of the culture war. You don't get to start pushing this dreck down everyone's throats. And then as soon as someone pushes back, you get to say, oh, culture war, culture war. Like, fuck you. What are you talking about? They're acting like this just came out of nowhere. All these anti-CRT bills just came out of nowhere. Or some of these transitioning for children stuff came out of nowhere, when it didn't. This is all a reaction to stuff that's going on. This is all a reaction to the culture war that the leftists started.
Yeah, it's sad too, because they will cast all of these situations with the parents as if the children were trans. They're wearing T-shirts that are like "Protect Trans Kids," so they will cast this as these poor innocent kids were trans, and that the unlicensed mental health, or not even mental health professionals. They're basically just teachers.
It was a school counselor and like teachers. And
they have zero mental health training at all. They're the ones that are getting involved in these touchy situations without notifying the parents or any of that stuff. But they will cast it as these people, as if they're licensed professionals that know exactly what they're doing, when that's not remotely the case, which is what is even more disheartening, because it's like, so to them, it's completely the two movies thing. The two movies is intact because they're looking at it as if these kids are, rightfully diagnosed by some camp counselor, they're trans, and that the parents are against them being trans. And therefore that's what's creating the problem. And this legislation is trying to stop that problem. That's their narrative, which is, logically coherent, even though I think that it's completely untrue and not based in factual reality. So that's why this Ron Perlman clip is just even more hilarious, because, talk about veering off into non-reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to do a 1, 2, 3 on the clip and we'll listen to it?
Yeah.
So
give me a count. I got it up. This is Ron Perlman. I like him. He's a good actor. Mm-hmm. But like most actors, they just fall for whatever the BS mainstream narrative is.
Right. But he thinks he's doing a good thing here because he's going to bring attention to trans kids. We have to worry about the gay 5-year-olds. Can you even be gay when you're 5? I think hypothetically, if you're gay when you're 5, but I don't think you're are you hetero?
I'm not thinking about it too much. Yeah.
I don't think of myself as hetero when I'm 5. Thank God. obviously that's weird.
And until you, I don't know about you guys, but until I started going through puberty, didn't really think about sex or sexual orientation
girls.
or anything related to that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's a common experience for most people.
Yes. Yeah. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Governor DeSantis. Ron here.
It's so funny. Oh, I paused it. I guess we can't pause.
Did you already pause it?
I already paused it. I couldn't help it.
Oh my God. We're not pausing it. There's no pausing.
We have to pause it.
Are we starting over?
I'm at 7 seconds, but the look here. it's so evil because he's setting it up like, oh, I'm your biggest supporter. Oh, Ron DeSantis, Ron Perlman here. Just calling in to let you know what a great job you're doing.
Right.
All right. Are you back to 7 seconds?
I'm at 7 seconds.
Here we go.
Don't say gay. Don't say as the first two words in a sentence spoken by a political leader of a state in the United States of America. Don't say. Don't fucking say, you fucking Nazi pig. Say. First Amendment. Read about it. Then run for office. You piece of shit.
God.
Good morning.
All right.
You Nazi. You piece of shit. It's sad because I like Ron Perlman.
Oh, yeah.
I like Ron Perlman. And I know that he just doesn't he's just an idiot. He doesn't know what the fuck is happening. He has no clue that the media is just lying to him constantly. So he reads these stupid articles about this bill and he just uncritically goes and he's like, this is the mainstream media did exactly what they want to do. They want you to get really angry and riled up about some nonsense. And then he goes on Twitter because he's angry and riled up about some nonsense. He calls Ron DeSantis a Nazi fuck.
Look, he tagged Ron DeSantis. The tweet is, "Dear Ron DeSantis." Ron Perlman here.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman here.
I don't know how people operate. This is so outside my realm of conception.
This is like a death threat. Can you imagine?
No, but like, okay, I've talked about, I don't know about Adam. Of course, I've talked about things and I've been wrong about things or I've given my opinion on things I didn't know enough about. Okay. And I always feel bad that when that happens, but I'm like a fucking nobody compared to Ron.
Oh, I know.
Okay. If I'm some world famous celebrity who's going to get, 20,000 likes from my statement, I'm going to go and make sure that whatever I'm saying is based on something true. I'm going to spend like the 10 seconds required to go look up this tiny, tiny bill and read it for myself before I go out and make some dumb fuck comment. And I don't understand these people who they don't do anything. They just someone tells them something. They say, "Oh, do you know Ron DeSantis is saying you can't say gay to children in schools?" And he goes, "Oh, gay Nazi fuck. I gotta go tweet about this." And he picks up his phone and he holds it way too close to his face.
Right.
I don't understand this fucking aesthetic. Okay, hold your phone away from you. I don't want to see like every fucking pore on your nose, Ron Perlman. And they hold the phone right up to their face. You can practically smell their breath through the internet. And they're like, "Fuck you, Nazi." And you're like, what are you talking about?
I know, this is totally insane. Ron Perlman has 1.1 million followers.
Yes. How do you not feel shame or responsibility for yourself when you have that large of audience that you're not going to spend the 10 seconds to just research a topic before you go out and give some incredibly incendiary, strong statement about it?
Holy shit. Ron DeSantis has 1.7 million followers. He actually has more followers than him.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know that. But yeah, exactly. How is this not stochastic terrorism? He calls him a fucking Nazi.
Right.
And what do you... Nazis are the... Come on. Ron, you were in Hellboy. You know what the Nazis do.
You fought Nazis. It's a demon.
You know this. You can't just go labeling people Nazis.
It's also like beyond just the ignorance of not understanding what the bill is. It's also like, if we remove that, his only single point is an idiotic point. He's
totally.
Like, you've never heard of free speech?
Right.
What? We're talking about government employees teaching children. Do you understand that government employees don't have free speech?
Yes. Yeah.
When they're exercised, like if they have free speech in terms of if they're talking against the government. They don't have free speech in terms of their role as the government towards a private citizen. Free speech is protection from the government. It's not protection of the government from people. Like, this is so basic. And I keep hearing this so bafflingly stupid that people don't understand what free speech means. They're like, oh, Why do government employees not have free speech from private citizens? I don't understand. First Amendment.
If I'm a government employee, let's say I'm working for the military and I have military secrets, I'm not allowed to share those with my freedom of speech, Sitch? I can't just scream those from the rooftops.
Oh my God.
I know.
Free speech is to protect you from the government. It's not to protect the government from you. That's insane.
Yes. Yeah. So this is hyper just bad take, obviously. Leftist bubble, Hollywood bubble. But I got a chuckle out of it after so many people are talking about it. Do you want to roll into the story? Do you have the story up?
I don't have the story up, but if you want to roll into it.
Editor. CT. Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.